I don't know how people get pulled up at the gym. But like, hey, girl, no one's saying that shit to me. They're like, is that a girl or a beast? I'm just
Do you
like,
need help? Are you okay?
yeah.
It's giving cardiac. It was about 11:30 and I slept so well. It was one of those ones where there's no drifting. Well, I very rarely drift and doze. I just black out. So it was just like, this feels good. Ugh, gone. And then woke up and it was like 6 or something. So I slept straight through like a new baby. And it didn't whiz by. You know, there was sometimes you close your eyes and it's like, how did we get here 5 minutes later? It was just a thoroughly enjoyed good sleep. So I'm in a good mood today. So I'm gonna relish it. That does not mean today's performance is going to be any better than normal.
Savor the moment. Savor the moment.
Tripping over words and forgetting shit regardless. But yeah, your girl's in a good mood this morning. Ooh, and I found, have you ever tried Starbucks's, are you a Starbucks anything?
Yes. So I don't drink coffee really from anywhere else but Starbucks nowadays.
Okay. Is
And
that because that's what's around?
no, there's no Starbucks by me. No.
Oh, okay.
I treat myself not even once a week, like maybe once every other week, to a venti vanilla latte with full fat deliciousness. And I immerse myself in that experience, especially because it costs over £5 for a coffee, and I'm just
crazy,
like,
isn't it?
I can buy a jar for that. Do you know what I mean? That's, do you know, every time I think those thoughts, I suddenly feel like such an auntie.
Yeah.
You know?
But also it's like, they were right.
Hate
Because
to
here's the
say it.
auntie thing that I did today. So I tried a pumpkin spice latte about 2 weeks ago because I've been hearing about them for years. It's the season, so you're seeing all of the ads, you know, and I'm just like, one, pumpkin doesn't even really taste of anything. So what is this coffee going to taste like? But I got one and it is yum, but it's yum because it's just spices. So it's got like cinnamon, nutmeg, probably a bit of ginger in there. And since I've had one, I have been really, really wanting another. But I don't want to spend like £5 on a coffee, especially as I'm only drinking decaf coffee. And I feel like it's a bit weird going to Starbucks to get a decaf coffee.
Yeah, and you're still
It's like,
spending the same amount. Can you not just get the syrup? Just buy the syrup.
Well, I went into Sainsbury's this morning and the oat milk brand that I buy have a pumpkin spice one. So I
Ooh,
got that and it's delicious. So that
well
is me
done.
for the season. So good.
So I was thinking recently, well, you know, hate to put it all out there at brands and stuff, but recently it's been like Amazon Prime Day or whatever, and we're coming up to a Black Friday and all of these things. And I am slowly building my list.
Is the treadmill on there? The walking mat?
The walking mat is on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially because I went round to my friend's house the other day and she had one in the corner of her living room, and I was like, you never told me about this. And so it's on there, and the other half is still telling me like, you can just go outside and walk and
I
run.
mean,
And I'm like,
obviously, but
yeah,
no.
right, that's what my legs were built for. But when it's raining and the wind is a whipping, I don't want to be outside, but I still want to be moving. So you know, there's that. And then I wanted like a milk frother or milk steamer, so then I can make my own vanilla lattes at home. So yeah, so there's all of the things.
That is so funny. Maybe is it like that kind of little mini whisk thing that you just like put at the top of?
No, because there's the whole thing of like still having to heat the milk and stuff. So this thing is just like it's about this big.
Right.
Has a thermal inside. You pour the milk in. It heats the milk and then frothers. What on earth? Froths.
Yeah.
You don't need to pronounce the yes. Frothers. It froths the milk, and then you just pour it into your cup and like do all the
stuff.
Yeah. So actually, I've just given away a bit of my deep dive.
We can circle back and
Okay. Well, maybe we should
bring back.
Introduce the show. Let's start that, shall we?
Thanks for that.
That would
It's
be
me
useful.
Today, guys. Do you see the teamwork? Amy's just like, girl, let's go.
I mean, this is it anyway, but for those who are joining us and listening, they're just like, did I miss the beginning? Or...
Yeah, no, it takes a minute. This is episode 47. I double checked because I've been just throwing numbers out there and they don't correspond.
You did say you were going to stop doing that.
I did, but I lie. 47 of It's All Frolics. Welcome back. Thank you for pressing play, or welcome for the first time. It's me, Monique B, and the lovely and warm, hooded up Amy G. Okay, so right off the bat, let's get the T's and C's out the way. It's not going to be T's and C's. The favors. Do the things, people. Subscribe. So we have an acronym, self. Subscribe because you deserve nice things. Engage because your voice deserves to be heard. Like because your feelings deserve to be validated. And follow and forward to a friend because sharing is caring. Okay.
Well done.
That's all out the way, just about. Right, to kick things off, we usually have a game or an icebreaker. I don't have one.
Okay, then.
My bad. I'm sorry. So I'm kind of taking myself off the hook because today's deep dive isn't the normal emotional excavation that we do. It's quite light, so I feel like there's less
that emotional excavation. Hang on, let me make a note
because we be digging. We be digging, and it hurts. Coming out calloused sometimes, but yeah, today is just a light one. So if you're listening on the episode release week, this Sunday, the clocks go back. So it is officially autumn, winter. Technically, it's autumn still.
Yeah.
And we're kind of gearing up to the hunker down half of the year. And your girl typically doesn't do so well. No, I think I do suffer from S.A.D. and over the last couple of years, it has kicked my butt. But I was thinking this year, how about we actually prep for the season rather than just winging it and ending up in an abyss like usual? So this week's deep dive conversation is basically just that. How are you preparing? What are you doing? What would you like to do to successfully make it through autumn and winter?
Yeah, autumn and winter. Do you know what though? I don't mind autumn when it's dry.
Autumn is my favorite season. I know what I just said about S.A.D., but before the winter bit kicks in, autumn is lush.
Yeah, it is. It is literally like the appreciation of the last of summer. You still have those glorious sunny days occasionally. They're not necessarily warm, but they can surprise you. They can surprise you when there's no wind and the sun is beating. You're just like, ooh,
mistaken
I might have to remove
for
this
where you
jumper.
are. Yeah. It just make everything look so nice. There's just like a little glow on everything.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
It's cute.
definitely because of I think the height of the sun, the way that it comes in. In summer, it's like right up there on top of your head. In the autumn, it's a little bit lower. It's like giving such graceful lights for all of
Yeah.
those beautiful
Gentle.
selfies there. Yeah. That lovely, just like appreciation of all of the good skin. And you're like, I wish I
Mm.
had this all the time.
All the time.
Um,
Absolutely.
and the colors changing, like I think that's my favorite thing about autumn is definitely when the leaves start changing to those like yellows and oranges and the
Mm-hmm.
reds, and just that's
I don't
automatically
know
I'm
what it is
like
about it.
fire. It's the
Cozy.
warmth.
It's the
It feels
coziness.
warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It feels really
It
lovely.
does.
So yeah. And then that disappears and everything
Yeah,
is
let's
naked and
and
bare.
harsh,
Yeah.
unforgiving. That's when shit really gets real. And everyone's mean until Christmas Day. Then
Right.
people start
Well,
smiling again.
it's that for me though, that it's the week before, maybe the week and a half before Christmas, where everyone's into their advent calendars
Actually, you're
now.
right.
They're
It is
eating the
about the week before.
chocolate.
Yeah.
They're hitting all of the alcohol because everyone's
Mm-hmm.
going on their Christmas
Christmas
parties,
parties. Yeah.
secret Santas, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Christmas
Conversations of what do you have
comes.
left to do?
Yeah.
Where are you
Christmas
going?
comes. Christmas goes, and we're back into the harsh reality of winter and back in being broke and January. So how do
Ye-
we prepare ourselves for
For
that?
that. Did you make a list?
I
Or
made
did you just
some.
record consciousness?
No, no, no. This time I actually made a bit of a list. They're more bullet points to talk around.
Same.
Um,
Okay.
and my
Can we go
header
tit for tat?
is,
Oh, oh.
yeah,
No,
my
what's your
header
header?
is embrace the season.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my first one, and actually this isn't just limited to this season, but I think I appreciate them a lot more. Hot baths.
Okay. Yeah.
There's something about having a cold day or a long day, having
Mm-hmm.
woken up in the dark and come home from work in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing this hug
Yeah.
of water,
Yeah.
which, you know,
It's just going to
holds
envelop
very close to
you.
my. Yeah. Every
Yeah.
time I think of a hot bath, though, I definitely think of Poetry. Do you remember that song? Where she describes that she sinks down into a bath so hot it scalds.
No, but that is literally the type of bath that I like. You know, like when you put your toe in and you can't tell at first whether it's hot or cold because
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
just
hot.
pain.
It's just like, is this? And then like the second later, it's just like, oh yeah, yeah, this is actually boiling water.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
No, I like them so hot that I can't get into a full bath. I
Okay.
get in whilst it's running, so I can
Oh,
so I can climatize.
I've never ever done that.
Yeah, obviously not when I'm like it's just a
Yeah, because that's
splash at the bottom.
madness. Because that just feels that's crazy people behavior.
Yeah, that feels poverty, doesn't it? Just like um no, but yeah, I get in whilst it's still running so that I can climatize to the heat. And also I get extra time in the bath
That's
because
so true.
it's so
Oh,
good.
what do you put in yours? Because I'm definitely an Epsom salts girly. I love a bit of, sometimes I put like tea tree oil in there as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, or some, what's the other one? Eucalyptus. But
Yeah.
tea tree, honestly,
I
try
only
that.
ever use kind of like eucalyptus when I'm bunged up.
Fair.
And I need that. But generally it will be, yeah, Epsom salts all the way. And we order usually like a tub. But for whatever reason, the decision was made to double up this time, and it's come in a sack. It is like
Oh.
20 kg sack.
That's amazing though.
Of Epsom salt. So I have to use, when you're baking, an actual 1 cup to spoon into the bath. So
that's
I have
actually
3 of
clutch, though.
those, 3 cups of Epsom salts, and then some delicious smelling bubble baths. And I'm usually like lavender, vanilla or coconut, something like that. I want to smell as soft as I'm going to feel when I get out.
That's fair. That's fair. This time of year, though, although no, it is this time of year, I kind of like the deeper scents. So, like, give me the cedarwood, the sandalwood, again, the eucalyptus. I want those kind of scents.
Yeah, more of a musk, like.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think, I've got my sense of smell is as sweet as my sense of taste. I'm like, give me all the sugar, give it to me.
Fair. Oh my God, I don't have enough baths. Like, I'm in that shower. To be fair, the amount of water that I use in the shower is basically a bath. But whenever I do get in the bath, it is that thing where it's just like, why am I not doing this all of the time?
Yeah. And in this season,
honestly,
it feels so much better. Like, it really does feel like you're gifting yourself something because, just at the warmth element of it, but also just that time to yourself.
The time. Yeah. I guess
just relaxing.
It's definitely a gift because we're just always doing a checklist of like what to do next, got to do this, got to do that, got to do that. That is literally what my evenings are like, which is why I'm in the shower, Vinks and Lather times 3, and then I'm out, and then that's it. But yeah, baths is definitely a gift. Okay, I see you.
Yeah, so working that into my thing is a must-have for this season.
Right. The first thing that I put in my list is a social media break.
Ooh.
Okay, maybe I should be realistic. A huge cut down on social media. And I think it's like an age-old thing that's like on the self-care list, taking in less of other people's every and anything, it's one of those things I feel like can be quite insidious. Like when you're scrolling, kind of feels like you're having a good time, and then you kind of snap back and it's just like, okay, so that's just been 2 hours of my life for no good reason. And also I still have things to do, which either don't get done and then that's on the next day's list, or they do get done and then I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. So for me, I want to take in less of other people's any and everything and just focus on, I don't know, not just more, I think just more quiet time. More quiet time, because I do have reading on my list as well. So obviously if I'm scrolling less, then the opportunity to read more is there. So that's a big one for me. Yeah, coming off social media. Because also I think, again, I was thinking about it the other day, the amount of time I spend looking at a screen is crazy. And even though I have like the blue light reduced to a minimum on my laptop screens, my PC screens, and my phone, it must still mess with my circadian rhythm. So I was thinking, when was the last time that I had like a really good sleeping pattern? Do you know when it was? When we had our spring break. And that was ages ago now that I think about it. Because during that time, I was also fasting as well. So you have to really cut everything way down to preserve energy. And, one of the whole points of a fast as well is just to reflect and to kind of get back to basics, just let your body heal itself. And I was getting some good sleep. It was like when I finished work in the afternoon, that was pretty much my screen time for the most part done. There might be like a little scroll in the evening, but nothing to like what it is now. So it really felt good and restorative to kind of cut that out. So for me, less of that.
How are you going to
I'm
bring
going
that
to
into
pray
action?
about it. I'm going to pray about it because ultimately just it's discipline, right? It's
Mhm.
discipline. I've got that timer set on my phone where like after 30 minutes it will just like close the app.
Oh,
Doesn't close it.
really?
It doesn't close it. So you get like this notification that says like basically like the allotted time is up. Do you want to postpone it for a minute, 30 minutes, or indefinitely? And every time it comes up, I'm absolutely clicking indefinitely because I'm in the middle of something, or, I've only been there for half an hour, still more time. But I'm going to try to actually adhere to that 30 minutes, which means like when it comes to like posting our stuff or having a quick look, I just have to be a lot more intentional with it because once the 30 minutes is
Yeah.
up, it's up. The problem for
Well,
me is that I pick up my phone all the time. All the time. It's just like if I'm uploading something whilst it's happening, it's like, oh, just quickly pick up my phone. Um, I should probably admit that I am more than likely addicted to my phone. And I hate it for me, to be honest. Like sometimes I pick it up, not even knowing what I'm picking it up for. And
mm,
it's actually infuriating, I'm not quite at the point where I'm saying I'm gonna delete the apps because I'm not. And I don't know if I really want to. I'm not ready to go cold turkey, but
yeah.
to intentionally be on there less, that's what I'm gonna try and do.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, do you know,
What's
the other day I always struggle to sleep the night before I have to go into the office because I know I have to get up earlier than I normally would anyway. And
mm,
that's on my mind. So I am already kind of predicting I'm not going to have a good night's sleep. But for whatever reason, I tend to scroll more the night before.
that night?
And last week I was scrolling, and then a video or a reel like popped up, and it was this woman who was like, "Go to bed."
I've seen her. Yeah.
And
Did you
I
put your
felt
phone down?
so seen.
So
Yes.
did
I
I. I
felt
was just like,
so seen. I
yeah,
literally was just like, "You're right. Close the app, put my charger on, put my sleep app on so I
yes.
can track my sleep." And then I went to sleep.
I
And I
saw
was just
her.
like, "Mm,
Yeah. I was just like, you're right, you're right. It's enough now.
yeah,
Yeah. I would love for
exactly."
more of those to actually pop up. And I don't think because I think going back and forth, I think TikTok has that where if you're on there enough, you get like a TikTok post that comes up saying you've been here a while,
Yeah.
basically. But I don't think that woman's one was that. I think it's
No,
just a post
it's
that
just
she
a
put up. It would be great if more people did that.
I
I don't
have
know,
seen a
just as
few
like
of
a little
them.
reminder, but
Yeah, I have seen many of them, and but it was just like I had already been thinking my eyes are tired and I should probably go to sleep, and then so I was
yeah.
like, I hear you,
Yeah.
I hear you, and this
Yeah.
is the prompt I needed. So yeah, so I feel like I it's definitely something I need to get better at myself.
Mm,
Um And there was a point when I did delete the apps. I deleted my
yep.
profile
Yeah.
and deleted the apps and was off for a very, very long time and only really came back in 2022. And I know that because it was because of someone's wedding that I joined again. Um, so,
How long were
but I
you off
am
for?
probably about 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
I don't know where the
you know,
time's going because it doesn't seem like you came back that long ago. So the fact that you're saying 2 years
yeah,
is crazy to me. And the fact that
yeah,
you were gone for 2 years, I'm just like, how does 4 years just like disappear
I
like that?
know. But it was because I know that I deleted it during COVID because I was experiencing a lot of anxiety and stuff at that time. And I just
Yeah.
found being online not helping. So
Yeah.
that's when I deleted it. Um and I'm still at a point where, yeah, I'll post some stuff, but I don't post much
Yeah.
of my own stuff because I'm just like, I don't need to be
Mm-hmm.
putting myself out there like that. And I don't feel the need to want people to see what's going on in my life like that.
Yeah.
Um, where before I'd be like, how big is this banana? Look at this massive coffee. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it was ridiculous. So, and I know
Yeah.
that because I still have evidence of those posts because it's ridiculous. So I definitely think it's a
That's
healthy
funny.
it's a healthy habit to get into, especially when we're going to be indoors more. Because in the
Yeah.
summer, when you're out and you're roaming, like there is
You're kind of
less need
living,
to be on your phone. But when you're indoors,
technically.
yeah. Well, you could be capturing stuff when you're out there, but you're not sitting
Yeah.
there scrolling because you're out doing bits and
Doing
pieces.
stuff. Yeah.
Or if you're not out, you are still doing bits and pieces because the light is outside. So it
Mm-hmm.
feels like you should be doing stuff. But when it's dark, I think also it's just one of those evolutionary things that as it starts to get a bit darker, you feel like it's time to settle in. And then when you're
Yeah.
settled at home and you know it's 4 p.m. and not 9, you're like, well, how am I going to fill my time? So then you just start,
Mm-hmm.
you know, scrolling on all of the different. But for me, it's Facebook Marketplace. I am
Oh God.
addicted to
Yeah.
scrolling on it. I don't need anything. I don't need anything, but
You
I
just love a
like to
bargain.
see. I do. And I also like to see what people are putting out there. Like, oh, that looks nice. That's cute. That's cute. Save, 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 save. I've got about 5,000 things saved that I'm never going to buy.
Never to be purchased. That's jokes.
But it's just something. It's kind of like Pinterest. Out of all of the
Mm,
social media apps that are out there, I feel like Pinterest is the safest one, but I'm
ditto.
still wasting time. You know, like I'm pinning things up to try. Then try it. Buy the stuff, sit down, do the thing
Yeah.
instead of looking online at more things you would like to try and never have time because you're doing all of the liking.
You're so right. Pinterest is the safest one. And previously, when I have like deleted the apps, I've never deleted Pinterest. I just, it's a good time. I do actually go on
Mm,
there for like dinner ideas now, actually.
yeah. There is
It's like
good stuff
really,
on there.
there's great stuff on there. And I think as well, because you can like specify what you want to see, that's probably why, it feels
Mm,
safer because it's all the things you already love. And it still is well, for the most part,
yeah.
static pictures. But yeah, I mean, I don't need to know what every celebrity is doing or what. I just don't need to know. It's not helpful.
Mm,
Um, and yeah, the whole celebrity thing is just, I don't know. I've got a bad taste in my mouth about it all right now. I'm kind of just sick of the curatedness of everything.
yeah.
Like,
And you don't really know what's true out there anymore anyway.
yeah.
Feels like there's a whole lot of bad taste stuff
Oh my God,
out
yeah.
there about all
Especially this year.
celebrities. Yeah. Well, it was predicted. It was predicted.
It was.
Anyway, what else?
That's
What
me.
else is going on?
I've got prioritizing sleep again. It's a recurring one for me. Um, but I think I added that after it occurred to me, as I mentioned before, that the last time I had a good stretch of decent sleep was that April that we had that basically, yeah, end of March, April, I think we were for.
Well,
Um,
most of March and most of April.
yeah, and that's just too long ago. It's too long
Mm.
ago, you know? Because it hasn't felt that long, and I feel like I complain about the times that I go to bed constantly. So
However, you have recently posted something in our chat about night owls and early birds,
yeah,
right?
yeah. What was that again? So I think it's something to do with it's like in our DNA, and it sort of goes back to the sort of caveman times, right? Where essentially the villagers took shifts looking out for the village. Essentially, you had like the day watch, they would be like the hunters, getting the food, blah blah blah, and then the night watch that would protect the rest from, I almost said vermin, I don't know why.
All of those mice coming to disturb your sleep. Yeah.
But you know, the friggin' predators,
Or
there
other
we go.
tribes, predators,
Other tribes,
yeah.
yeah, all of that. So there are some people that actually still carry that night owl gene, essentially, which would make a lot of sense because there are some people that are just naturally, you know, you've got your morning folk and you've got your nighttime folk. And I really, okay, so not last night, but the night before, I fell asleep on my sofa at, it was probably about 10, and I woke up at 2. I could not go back to sleep. I was like up, up. Like, not one of those ones we kind of like quickly go to the loo so the sleep doesn't, you know, leave you.
Yeah.
I was awake. Didn't go back to sleep until 7:30 in the morning. The only reason I was able to do that is because the girls were away for the weekend, and it was Saturday night that happened. So like I slept in on Sunday, but it's crazy. Like it's not like I was worried about something, because you know, like anxiety can mess with your
Yeah.
sleep. Nothing like that at all. I was just up watching all sorts. Crazy. So I think, yeah, I think there probably is something to it. And if it's a real thing, like it says, because again, you kind of have to take what you find online with a pinch of salt. And I've not done any further research into that. But if that is the case,
Then you're
I've got to
naturally
have a bit of
inclined to be an,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because as long as we've known each other, you've always been sending messages at stupid o'clock in the
Stupid o'clock.
morning. And I'll be waking up and being like, why is she awake at this time? Like, what is there to do at this time? Do you know what I mean?
And still up and functioning. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I saw something just a couple days ago, again online, because where else do we get information now? Basically about the need for women to get 8 to 10 hours of sleep, just because of the way that our brain functions, and the requirements our hormone levels have on our body. So like men can get away with, what did they say? I think it was, oh, I want to say like 6 to 8, because essentially their hormone source is their balls, right? Their testosterone, and their brains don't function to the degree that ours do. So they're okay with like a, you know, couple hours here and there, but we actually need 8 to 10. I mean, I don't know if I could sleep for 10 hours. I don't.
I absolutely
But,
can.
and that's great. That's
I
too much for
absolutely
me.
can.
But 8 hours, yeah, I could probably do for sure. But that's for our body to like repair, for brain repair, and just to have a regular, successful day.
Is that
So having read
wild?
that, I'm just like, I do need to get, and again, as we get older as well, it's necessary, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. And the way that my brain fog is set up of late, I feel like the lack of sleep has to be contributing to that, you
Yeah.
know,
Well, the
because
whole idea of having a lack of sleep is a form of torture, isn't it?
torture.
That's what they, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I obviously we've had many conversations about this. I've never had children, so I've never had to go through that exhaustion of those
Mm.
first few weeks, months, years where your sleep
Like,
is eternally broken. But on the odd occasion where my sleep is broken or I don't get enough sleep, I get the worst migraines if I
mm,
don't sleep enough. The worst migraines, like to the point where I go blind in one eye because
that's
it's
insane.
it's so intense.
Yeah.
Um, And knowing, as I've mentioned in regards to my scrolling, knowing that sometimes I bring that on myself because I'm up late scrolling and then I only give
Yeah.
myself 5 hours to sleep before I have to
Yeah.
be awake. And if that's broken because nature calls in the middle of the
Yeah.
night,
It's a wrap. And
yeah,
isn't it so infuriating as well when it's self-inflicted? Because it's just like you've got nothing to show for it apart from that migraine.
yeah.
Anyway, so
And then the
we're going to
following
be,
evening is wiped out because I'm like, I'm tired, so I have to go to bed at 8 p.m.
yeah, literally. It's like throughout the day, you're just thinking about going back to bed. You know, that's the night
Yeah,
that you come home and have that bath. It doesn't even matter what you have for dinner because we need to go to bed.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Definitely. So it's kind of linked, I feel like, in terms of not scrolling. So you're not feeding your body with that blue light or that whatever light that's
Mhm.
affecting your sleep pattern, getting a routine for good sleep. Um, my one was about exercise. So
Well, let's talk
consistent.
about it because I've got gym here as well.
Okay, so consistent, a routine that is consistent to allow for just a much better general feel throughout those winter months.
Mhm.
And that is the time generally where if I've been good throughout the year, I will fall off the wagon, roll down the hill, and obtain some sort of fracture or strain, which means I cannot climb up the hill to get back on the wagon for at least 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. I mean, I end
this
up in the gutter because I take snacks with me on the way down. Literally.
and
Eating
you
it.
but then you're hibernating in the gutter for those winter months because you're just like, I'm
I'm
good. I'm
just,
good here.
I'm an absolute animal. I'm tired. I'm spotty. And the pounds are piling.
Oh my God, the repercussions. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And every year I hate myself. So I'm really gonna try, really, really, really gonna try. So I have set myself a challenge, which involves running. And because there's a plan, a training plan attached to it, I have consistency, right? That's already there. The will, the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
will to complete. And then it's like, oh, it's cold outside. Oh, it's raining. Oh, like, bitch, just move your flabby
I
ass
know.
and do the thing. And we will feel great once we've completed this.
When are you
Because,
looking to do your runs? Is it like a before
um,
work thing? Like,
no, never, ever, ever, ever. There's no
okay,
chance. I can barely get out of bed before work. So
we
there's
did
no
discuss.
point in me trying to do that. I set myself up for failure if I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for a run before work. Never. Um, so last week I managed to go at lunchtime because my during the week, my weekday runs are a maximum of about 5 or 6K, which I can complete in about 40, 45 minutes,
Okay.
um, depending on how fast I'm running. So I can do that in my lunch hour. It does
Mhm.
mean I get back and it takes me about 15 minutes to calm the
Yeah.
sweat that is
Mhm.
pouring off my body. So I might be joining my next meeting with like just looking a hot mess.
I
Um,
mean, yeah, you for putting your camera on.
I have to. That's a
Oh,
requirement. We
do
have to have
you?
our cameras on. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I will schedule internal meetings for that time and just say, look, I'm going for a run in my lunch break. So don't expect to see,
Yeah.
a model at the
Look,
other end.
no, I'm showing up and be grateful,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Literally last week, my meeting was with my boss, and I was like, because my lungs were clearing everything, and she's like, "Oh no, are you coming down with something?" I was like, "Oh no, that's exercise." So,
And I'm feeling great. Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
so yeah,
All
so
right.
I'm
Tell me
scheduling
the
those
schedule. Like how many times a week? What's the schedule?
three times a week. is
Certain
kind of what
days?
I'm it depends because obviously when I go into the office changes on the day, but typically
Okay.
what I'll try to do is a run, miss a day, a run, miss a day, and then a run. So what,
Okay.
or there'll be 2 days in between one of the runs. But there's always going to be the longer run on the weekend because I've got more time on my hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, so during the week 2 runs of 5 to 6K and then a longer run. And I'm gradually increasing that over time. So it will force me to get outside, which is good. Vitamin D, get that fresh air, which is also part of embracing the season.
Mm-hmm.
And the others are for consistency, building up that consistency. So we will see. I actually feel like I'm going to complete it this time. Like I
Yeah.
feel positive
I
about
feel
the
really hopeful too.
experience.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Something feels like it's shifted a bit.
Yeah.
More than anything, do you know what it is? More than anything, I'm actually just curious to see how it's just going to impact, because like we've read everything, and theoretically like we know what the impact is going to be. I've just never kept it long enough to actually to sustain it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I've just
Yeah.
not
Yeah. Yeah.
sustained it for long enough. So I'm just really curious more than anything to kind of see what it's going to be like on the other side. I'm literally only planning on doing like inclined walks at the gym, probably a bit at the Stairmaster once I build my stamina up again, because it's trash right now. I tried to do a couple of squats 2 days ago. I managed 5, and I was just like, you really lose it if you don't use it, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm not expecting great things for the first couple of weeks, but yeah.
Doesn't take
And I
long
also
though to if you're being consistent to get back
it
into
it's about a fortnight. I think it's about a fortnight.
yeah.
But when the thought of actually going to the gym, it makes you shudder. It's just like, oh, are we ever going to that's how I feel right now. It's like, am I ever going to get started? But just slow and gentle is kind of like the pace that I'm aiming for. And I also I'm planning on doing either, see, I was gonna say Pilates, but I know me, I'm not doing Pilates, so yoga more than likely. Just to kind of stretch everything out and keep limber.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I was so in terms of like the runs and stuff, I'm tracking it on my phone and my other half has like a fitness watch. I'm not that extreme. Um, but I went for a 6K run and it probably took me about 35 minutes, maybe a little bit less. And shared that with him. And he went out for a run and he's like twice the speed of me. He didn't go for as long, but in terms of looking at his output and my output, I was burning a lot more calories,
Mm.
even though he was like super speedy. I don't even think his feet touched the floor. He was just like vroom, vroom.
Road
Whereas
runner.
mine is like proper heavy, like
Yeah.
pace. Do you know what I mean? Um, so and it just in terms of like the exertion of effort, walking is, I think loads of people don't think walking is exercise. It is so
It
good
is.
for you.
It is.
So good for you. And
It
it
is.
engages everything, your core, as well as obviously your larger muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and depending how fast you're going, you're moving your arms as well. I mean,
Yeah.
we've all had a joke about the fact that at some point I'm going to be getting those bloody sticks and be walking up and down the seafront with my little hiking stick. I'm not that extreme, but
Yeah.
I just love the extent. So there have been times when I'm at the gym. I don't want to be there, but I forced myself to go. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, whilst I'm here, let me do something that I actually do like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whack that incline up. Do it at like a certain speed that you feel like you can be consistent with. And I'm watching a show, usually something crime related. And 40 minutes later, my
You're done.
workout's done,
Yeah,
and I
it's
feel
crazy.
like, well done, me. I've actually done it. I've kept a consistency of showing up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is it. That is it. I'm like, and I got myself a few new gym bits to motivate myself.
Why was I thinking about the same thing this morning? I'm like, is that the reason why I don't want to go? Because I don't have shit to wear. Like, I've just got like these massive, awful t-shirts, like the ones you try to hide your body in, but actually makes you look more like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah.
That's what I've got right now. I'm just like, I should get like just a couple of t-shirts, a couple of running
Oh,
tights, and
yeah, I think it's the leggings and the tights that's what I invest in, because tops, I'm sweating those bad boys out. So I don't mind looking like a hot mess in a t-shirt, because I'm just like, this is gonna get soaked. Like, I'm not here with my eyelashes or my hair done. I am like really struggling over here. So
as you should be. Yeah. It
the
is
only thing
crazy,
I'm
like when
worried
you
about,
see people that have like a full face at the gym.
yeah.
And the way that, like, do you know what? At my gym, I am always the only one that has like a towel. And I find that really weird. It's just like, is no one else sweating? How come no one is wiping their brow? It's crazy to me.
I don't
Like,
know.
I
Maybe
could
they're
not
just
work
using the
out
blue
without.
roll that's available there.
No, because I've been looking for it. I'm just like, what are you guys doing? It's
Also, you should be
weird.
wiping down the machines. That's grim.
I mean, that's the only thing that they use the tissues for, which obviously that's the main reason why that's
Yeah.
there. But they're not walking with a flannel, no sweatbands. I know sweatbands are very 80s, although I am tempted because so much easier, right? Maybe not like the
Yeah.
original thick
Yeah. I just
ones.
don't know how
Like
I feel about.
a hairband would actually do it. Like the
Oh, yeah.
stretchy cotton ones. That would actually be enough.
Standard. I have to wear
But
that. Have to.
oh,
That's the
okay.
first thing that soaks up the sweat. And also because
Yeah.
I wear over the ear headphones when I'm
Oh,
at the
okay.
gym. I cannot wear in ear
The in-ear ones.
no, because they're just
Yeah.
gonna slip right out. Like, I've
Your
been
tiny
told
ear
that ears
holes.
don't sweat, but my ears
They
sweat.
do. They do.
So
Especially when they're plugged up as well.
yeah.
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 They do.
There's
They
nowhere for
do.
that to go. So like
Mm-hmm.
my headband's on to save my headphones,
Yeah.
and it's the first thing that soaks it up. But yeah, I go in with a towel, and I look like a propaganda, just like dab, dab, dab. And
Oh,
then
I'm just like
sweat, sweat, sweat.
I am not neat and fine with it at all.
I've had sweat get in my eye because it's dripped from my brow.
Oh God,
And then
that's
I'm
the
just like,
worst. Especially if
ah.
there's like hair product in it. It's a
Not
wrap.
pretty. It's not pretty. I
But
don't
it's
know
not
how
supposed to
people
be.
I don't know how
It's
people
like
get pulled up at the gym. But like, hey girl, no one's saying that shit to me. They're like, is that a girl? Or a beast? I'm just
do you
like,
need help? Are you okay?
yeah.
It's giving cardiac. But yeah, it's meant to be difficult. You're meant to be like training to fatigue.
Yeah. Oh,
But
such
well,
a funny.
if you're going that hard, but I guess it depends, innit? But I see people on machines doing the most, and there's no sweat, and I'm just like, what is that?
Yeah.
And this is
There
like a
are
Botox thing.
I don't know. There are a couple of girls at my gym, and like they're there, like fully kitted out, makeup, hair done, like it's all going on. And there have been a couple of times where they've been like really heavily left the weights go, and it's like made
Oh
a
yeah.
clink, and they're just like, ooh, and it's like five. I'm like, Fitch, no, come on. If it's not on 35 or more, you have no right to let
Literally,
that clank like that.
my ass weighs more than that. That's ridiculous.
It's just like, no, no. Anyway, shouldn't be
uh,
judging people at the gym, but it's the most entertaining part of it. But yeah, it all feeds in, because one thing I have noticed is with going to the gym more consistently, I'm sleeping much deeper. I
mm,
am such a crap sleeper. So I'm sleeping so much better when I am actually falling asleep. I'm tracking my sleep as well at the moment, because I just want to know.
yeah,
I do wake up in the night. It's usually around the same time, and it's either a need to go to the toilet, so I know I can't have water too close to bedtime. All of these things I'm
yeah.
learning. Um, But because it's so dark outside in the morning, I'm just like, I don't know. Before in the summer, and it's like, oh, lights outside, it's probably about 5 a.m. Now it's like, it's 8 o'clock and it's dark.
Literally, is it 2? Is it 5? Where are
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so it's helping me with that as well. But I just feel like rather than fighting it, that's why I've called it embrace the season. Rather than
Yeah.
fighting it, I'm just gonna go with all of the fun
Because
things.
yeah, because it's coming regardless, right?
Yeah.
So we can make it like as peaceful or as traumatic as we want. Take action or don't,
Yeah.
but I've done the inaction for so long. It's just, I think you're right, actually. What I am trying to do is actually embrace it by preparing for it this time and not just like hoping to get through. So that's a
Yeah.
great mentality. That's a
There's so
great
many things I
mentality.
love about it though as well. Obviously I've referenced like the dark mornings and the dark nights and stuff, but something about gearing up for Christmas, like towards obviously there's Halloween in between, so you'll have bits in the windows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But once it starts getting closer and closer to Christmas and people start putting up their Christmas lights, and I love a look through someone's window from a distance. I'm not like, you don't
Yeah.
see the steam off of my nose. Do you know what I mean? But I
I feel like
love
if you don't
just,
have net curtains up or blinds,
yeah,
you want me to look, so I will.
you're
You
inviting
are.
it.
Yeah.
So
You said cooey and I'm licking.
wave it back. Yeah. I just love that whole, time where although it is dark outside, it still feels warm and cozy because of the lights that are coming up. And
Yeah.
even seeing people, if they don't have like fairy lights, seeing people all cozied up on their sofa watching a show and like
Yeah.
holding their little mugs of tea or coffee or probably
Mhm.
alcoholic something, you never know. um I'm just like, and that makes me look forward to coming home and doing the same
Yeah.
at home. And I love being at home, so
Mm.
all the more reason. So yeah, just like even then when I'm at home, having the nice scented candles or like the
Okay.
infusers and stuff.
So this leads into my thing. I'm
Okay.
really sorry to cut you off, but I've got making home more homey. So that means upgrading my bedspreads and stuff and blankets, just like you said, and the candles. I bought a stack recently. Lidl have like some really nice ones. Even Pound, I don't think Pound Stretch is a thing anymore, so it must be Poundland. They've got some really nice massive ones that are like a fiver that smell amazing. So,
Mm,
just like you're saying, just heightening like the senses, right? Things that smell cozy, that feel cozy, just because I too love being at home. So, I just want to make it even more of a place to just
yeah.
snuggle up in, you know?
Yeah. Definitely. If the
Yeah,
warm's not outside, bring it inside. I think that's the whole
yeah,
thing. Um
absolutely. Because
what else?
my central heating, like, I know what the electric bills are saying. I do not care. Like, I don't I don't care. It's just it's miserable outside. I'm not going to be miserable in my house. Like I'm not. What are we paying all of this rent for? Like no. I'm
Yeah.
going to be hot. My two love to walk around in like underwear as it is. I'm trying to get them to at least put on like some leggings and a t-shirt. But maybe it's because my heating is always on. They're just like free. It's crazy. Like they literally come in through the door from school and it's just you can actually see where they've gone because there's just like a trail
Clothes, yeah,
of clothes.
discarded.
Literally, like they're way too comfortable in here. I'm probably not as strict. I'm not strict enough. But yeah, home has to be warm and cozy, man. Like it's what all of the work outside is for.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
it's all for.
Yeah, I know. There's just we have a ongoing battle in ours where that heating doesn't come on until it's absolute icicles at the door.
You have a medical note. I feel like you should like print that
I
off and
mean,
laminate
yeah, I
that.
do have that condition. Yeah, probably why he bought me the Uggs.
I mean,
But I
no
don't even
judgment.
mind like
All to its
wearing all of the layers. Like I don't
yeah,
know, there's something, it's that cozy feel. I cannot
yeah.
describe it. It's just like walking around, hugging yourself. There
Mm,
is something about that. But yeah,
about the Udi.
yeah. And all of the like, I love wearing a jumper. I don't know why, but I love wearing jumpers. And there's
Mm.
such cute jumpers out there. So jumpers, all of the like fleece lined lounge wear,
Mm.
which is why I'm hugging myself right now because this is so soft. So like that, and then yeah, the fluffy socks and the fake
Yeah.
Uggs, and all of those things.
The
I
fugs.
adore. Yeah, yeah. I literally have it fugs written down on my little list. Um, but we've been talking about like sleep and stuff. Something that I am going to be introducing this year is those natural light alarms to help
Okay,
me
yeah,
wake
yeah, yeah.
up
They work.
because yeah.
I've
So
got one.
so I do, but he puts the alarm on for a time where he wants to be woken up, right? Which is not the same time that I want to be woken up. But somebody doesn't get woken up by this magical thing. So
Right.
then I'm up an hour and a half or an hour earlier than I need to be or want to be because they're not
Yeah.
waking up. So I'm like, this fucking thing is light. I still have an hour to go.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a lot more strict about that. But
What about the whole sleep mask thing? Would that help? Do they?
I sleep with an eye mask already. I
Oh,
sleep with an eye mask because of the fact that I am sensitive to light. So even
okay.
the cracks down the curtains and stuff,
Yeah,
that if it's bright outside, then I'm done
it's a
for.
wrap. Okay.
So most of the time, but also this is why I'm so sensitive. Like I've had to upgrade one recently because my other one was just the elastic was gone. It was
Right.
slipping off during the night. So I've had to upgrade, but now it's too tight. So now it's pinching my head, which is
Oh yeah, no, you can't
stopping
have
me from
that.
sleeping.
Yeah,
So I've been sleeping for the last couple of nights, been sleeping without one. But because it's so dark outside, it's just
yeah.
so just small things that I'm trying to change that will help
Mm,
with rather than being like, ripped from my sleep, slowly warmed
yeah.
into
Oh,
waking.
being ripped from your sleep is like the worst. It's just, why would we want to start our day like that? Did you have that alarm as
No,
a
no,
kid?
never, ever, ever, ever,
But you know what
ever.
I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Oh my God. I feel like it's a millennial thing, especially if you're like more of an 80s millennial. We all had, I don't even know if it was Casio either, but this God-forsaken alarm that just sounded like war sirens. And I also at one point had one of those old school alarms that had like the bell
the
on the
bells.
top. Mate, it's just
Yeah,
starting your day with that kind of shock is not cute. It's not.
no. It really does startle you. And then you're like, where am I? Oh
Oh,
my God, what's happening?
yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's the worst thing. So then, like over the years, my alarms have gradually just been getting lighter and lighter and lighter, up until about 2 years ago. It was like birds chirping. So it just sounded like the morning birds.
Yeah,
And now, for the most part, now I'm getting up before my alarm anyway. But that morning light one, it's brilliant. It's so good. It's
yeah.
so good.
So yeah, so
So
that's something as well that
subscribe to
I'm
that.
like, that will help
Yeah.
with kind of like, oh, it's morning and I'm not feeling too dragged. from
Yeah.
asleep. But I mean, even then, like a lot, my alarms are always something light musical, so I don't feel like I'm being,
Mm.
forced into the world of reality out of my cozy
I know.
dreams.
Just want to be
Um,
eased out because that when you first wake up as well, is it beta? I can't remember where your like nervous system is. So it's kind of like when you're sort of most susceptible. It's the state that you want to get to when you meditate.
oh no,
So
that's
it's
better.
whatever, one of them. So it's like the longer you can kind of stay there,
Mm,
the better, really, which is why it's nice to be eased out of your sleep. And if you don't have to get up immediately, even if you can just lay there for like 10
yeah,
minutes, it makes all the difference. And you
yeah,
can really only do that if you're going to bed at a decent hour. Because if you're having to snooze or sleep in, when your eyes open, like you've got to be up and out.
yeah. And then that's already
So,
you're straight. If you're rushing,
oh,
it's a different kind of
no,
energy. But yeah, I mean, to be
okay,
honest, in terms of like your room shouldn't really be when you're waking up too dark anyway. You need to have some natural light coming in. But because I have blackout blinds, because I need them to go to sleep, so that
yeah,
will actually help with, just general feelings in the morning. So
yeah.
yeah, that. And then yeah, if I've got the lovely vanilla latte syrup and the milk frother, and I can make myself a nice cozy drink in the morning,
It's a good morning.
doing all of the things just to feel good, get there. So I
Mm,
reckon, yeah, it'll be okay. It will be okay. I'm not looking forward to Jan. I never look forward to January. It feels like the longest frigging year in the world. And yes, I
it
meant
is.
year
No,
because it
I
just
heard.
feels
I
like
know exactly what you
365.
mean.
It's like it's only been a week. I feel like I've been here forever, you know?
Yeah.
Cold,
Yeah.
dark, wet,
Each week is a quarter.
long.
Yeah.
Jan
It
is
is
just grey.
horrible. It is horrible. Also, as well, for me, just sometimes it feels like it kind of vetoes Christmas and that all of that festivities. It's just almost like it never happened?
Yeah.
So it is a tough month to get through. Maybe we need to actually prep, do something specifically for January. We can come back to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, we're already planning on going away for a week in Feb. Um, as I suppose, a pat on the back for getting through jazz. I don't know. Well done, you
Something to
survived.
look forward to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that
And
counts. It
yeah.
counts.
And just to get, because then also it's usually somewhere sunny, so you get that vitamin D back in. And that's on my list as well about supplements. So like make sure that you're taking your vitamin D supplements from,
Mm-hmm.
well, should have been from like last month really to get you through.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like the
but I
one that I am consistent with. It's like a small, tiny tablet. Take that every day. I don't
every
know if I feel a
day.
difference about it though. And I've been doing that for at least the last 3 years.
Yeah. Oh, so the other thing for me is making like a ginger shot to have through the autumn winter months, because I
Yeah.
used to get terrible colds. December I was wiped out because I'd just be
Yeah.
sick all of the time.
It's
So to
not
have
fun.
those early doors and just be every single day just having that and feeling
You're
like
making me feel like I'm winning because 2 weeks
you're on it.
ago, literally, but I'm not making shots though. So what I've done, I've got this massive chunk of ginger. I wanted to get fresh turmeric, but where I usually go, they didn't have any, so I've had to use powdered ginger, not the same.
Yeah.
And a whole lemon, and I basically just put that in my blender. So it's kind of like it's not super super runny, and it's not quite a paste, but you kind of just like scoop some out, and I just plop it in my mug, and then I add a green tea bag to it, and I drink that every morning. It is
Mm.
so good. So good.
Yeah, well,
First
actually,
thing every morning.
that is one of the things. It's just like having ginger, turmeric, lemon, and if you want a bit of sweetness, a bit of honey in there too, because you can mix that all up with some water, and you can freeze them in like
That's
your
what I
ice
did too.
cubes,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then just pop that in, put some extra hot
Mm-hmm.
water in, and you're good to go. But I use ginger, lemon. I don't use turmeric, but ginger, lemon, and a little bit of apple juice, and make like shots.
The shots.
And then
Yeah.
have that every single day, and then keeps the lurgies
Yes.
at bay. Doesn't mean like
and cayenne
rid of
pepper.
them. That's all. Yeah, there's so many different things to be putting.
Yeah, that's in mine.
They stain my
It's so
mugs, so I steer clear of those.
fair.
But yeah, all of these little things that you can do to just
Pep yourself up.
get
Do you have
through.
anything else on your list? I've got one more thing, which actually surprised me that I put down, but
No, I don't have anything else. Oh yeah, I do. But this is more, it's on the kind of sneaky on the vitamin D list, and mine is a sneaky tanning booth.
oh my God, how long has it been?
It's been years, but um just like on days like today, which are like grey and misty and just just 3 minutes
Okay.
of that burst of warmth, because it is the heat lamps.
Yeah.
But that kind of like artificial vitamin
That
D
light.
sets me up. It's not for a tan. It's not for a tan anymore. It's more about that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like I'm in a place, need a bit of a perk, and I'm
Yeah.
missing sunshine. That
When we went to that
emergency.
spa a couple of years ago and we had a session in the light room, I was really surprised by how well they work. Like,
Yeah.
because I've always heard about them and it makes sense. But I remember lying there thinking, this is really something.
Yeah. Yeah. You can get
Mm.
yourself a little infrared kind of face thing. In fact, I think we've got one somewhere.
What, the mask?
No. Just it's like
Oh, like
a mirror, and you just you just
yeah.
sit in front of it. It does help for inflammation as well. So if you do have an injury, if you literally laid in front of it for a
Yeah.
period of time, it would help settle the inflammation. But just sometimes just that on your face is quite nice, of just being like
Yeah, the light therapy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the thing on your list that surprised you?
Um, to try and be a bit more social. I know. So, my cousin, has recently left. So, as part of his university placement, he, I think his first stop is in Seville because he's like doing like a translation degree, and then he's off to Brazil for like a couple of months. And like the family got together just to kind of, give him hugs and kisses and wish him all the best and farewell. And it was just so it was a Thursday night, so school night. We got there, it was like 6. It was already dark and miserable. It was cold. And it's just like, oh, I felt like the season changed. But then getting to my aunt's home and then like family being there, and like family's always cool to be around. It was just such a nice time. And I was just like, oh, I think more of this. I think more of this in
Mm,
this season, being around the ones you love and love spending time with, you know? Like the emotional warmth of it all, I feel
yeah.
like is definitely going to help me get through. I mean, I was really proud of myself for having going because it's a mission to get there. And as I said, it was a school night as well. And typically I don't do stuff like out the ends on a school night because I want the girls to get a good night's sleep because they've got school. But I was just like, given we're not going to see him
Yeah.
until like next year at some point, the effort has to be made. And I feel like the payoff was just it was great. So I'm just like, we need to do more of this. So yeah, I'm planning like theatre trips, panto, even though panto peaks my cringe factor. I know the girls will have a blast, so I'll do that. Just things to like, make memories. Like, why leave it all to the summer?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just as important. Just get those endorphins, natural endorphins. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
that's on
It's
my list.
nice. That's cute. I like that. I
Yeah,
don't need to
that's
add
major for
anything
me
more to my,
because
yeah, I know. You can take some of mine,
People?
babes. Yeah. Well, this is the
Outside?
thing. It doesn't necessarily need to have, like you said, it's activities outside.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be big social engagements. Like you
Yeah.
said, you're doing like theaters and pantos. That could just be you and the girls.
Yeah.
So it's just activity. Those are the things to look forward to that break up this long, dark
Yeah,
period of time.
absolutely. Yeah, it's true.
So
It's true.
yeah, that's cute.
But that's me.
Love to hear
We're
more
gonna
about
do it this year. S.A.D., do one.
aggressive.
Very.
Unlike you, that's usually my style.
When I mean it, I mean it.
And that's the point.
All right, folks.
Oh.
So I hope I don't know, this sort of back and forth has given you some ideas on what you can do for the season, because it is a miserable one. If you're someone who already finds this season quite easy to get through, do share. Like, how are you doing
Yeah.
this? Are you just built this way, maybe? Or if there are like specific things that you do, yeah, let us know. Sharing is
Add them to
caring.
the list. Yeah, exactly. We'll be like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Let's do more of this.
I mean, if it's drinking, we already know, like, it's fine. So anything outside of that,
Yeah.
send it on over.
Yeah. And nothing too like extreme, like we're not going bungee jumping in the cold or something or cold water swimming. Absolutely not.
No.
Not
But yay for you. We're proud of you. Do that.
for you. For you. We'll love to hear about it and why you think it works, but it's not something that we'll necessarily try.
But we support you.
I just have no patience whatsoever. Very Aries of me.
I have the same addiction. Like, now. What's her name? Is it Veronica? Oh my God, from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Daddy,
yeah.
I want the llama now.
Yeah. I think it's isn't it Veruca?
Veronica. Veruca Salt?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Who would call their child Veruca? That's just like
Waldo. Do you have any media?
I want to watch that actually now.
Which one?
I'm going to watch Willy Wonka.
Which one?
The original. I don't watch any of the other bullshit. I haven't seen the Johnny Depp one. Yeah.
I always forward that song because I cannot. Oof, sad times.
I got a golden ticket.
I love that film so much.
Isn't it? Such a good time.
I always get irritated, like, at the granddad because it's just like, you mean to tell me that you've been in that bed for years, but now all of a sudden you can get up and walk because you're going to the factory? Come on now.
He has purpose. And sprightly That's too. The whole point. It's the fact that he now has a purpose to be out of bed and doing the things.
You have a whole grandson here, okay? There's your purpose.
Yeah, well, he's doing it for the grandson, isn't he?
Find the silver lining. That's fine. I'm gonna let you have it.
Do you know what? My Media Circus, they're not fun ones. They are like, I must have been in a place when I found these because I have two.
James. I have two as well, and they're just more like FYIs and how dare they's. But yeah,
mines are like no. So mine are BuzzFeed articles, but one is about cheaters and the other one is about people who called off their weddings.
Oh, I find it so funny that we always have something wedding-y in our orbit. Oh, we love a good.
I didn't even think about that actually.
No, we always do. Okay, I have something about secondary school and sick notes and someone's face who was healed.
Go with the face. I'm intrigued.
Okay, so there was this lady who, in the aftermath, potato, in the aftermath of a propane explosion at her mother's house, her face was basically completely disfigured. Like, basically, they had to put this lady's face back together like it was a
Wow.
puzzle. So heavily scarred, heavily burnt.
Mm.
And they didn't know basically what to do. Now, I'm not sure why, but one of the surgeons utilized a tool that's hardly ever used, which is human placenta. So they basically placed a thin veil of human placenta over this lady's face, and
Whose?
the lady's face who got exploded.
No, but I mean, whose placenta?
Oh, it was donated. Yeah, it was donated. And basically, her face completely healed. I mean, she definitely still has like scars, because, burns, but she looks like how she did before the explosion, which
Oh,
I just feel like is crazy. Because I mean, I've always said if I was able to, I would have been one of those people who would have had the placenta capsulized, and I would have taken that like after I had my two girls. And I know it's like quite woo woo, but I feel like we're the only mammals that don't eat the placenta. All other animals do because of the healing properties. So this doesn't surprise me, but I feel like it's pretty incredible that it was able to heal her to the point where she looked like her old self after such a horrific accident,
it's interesting.
isn't it?
Why didn't you have yours capsulized?
The cost of it at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's not something, I mean, the NHS,
NHS.
that's a whole
Mm,
debate on itself. So it has to be done privately, which is
okay.
fair. But at that time, it just wasn't something I was able to do.
Yeah,
And they
fair
won't
enough.
let you like just take your placenta either,
Why not? It's
which is,
yours.
yeah, I know, but it's a
Pack it up to go, babes. I brought my own Tupperware.
my to-go bag.
Might as well use those Chinese compartments, man.
Yeah.
We have a lot of them.
Oh God. Yeah. But no, I absolutely would. I mean,
Mm.
not now, but at the time for sure. But I thought that was pretty amazing. Like the human body it just it astounds me of it, of what it's capable of.
Yeah,
It's freaking fantastic. So that
yeah.
was
I
cool
mean,
to me.
it is cool because you just don't, I don't know, we still don't know a lot about our body. We know a lot. Well, not me personally, but people out there know a lot about
Yeah.
our body, but there's still a lot of unanswered questions as to why things are linked to certain things or
Mm-hmm.
how they actually work. And I guess there's something to not knowing. I mean, I'm not very religious at all.
Yeah.
Like I'm very much more a universe kind of
You're more spiritual
leaning.
for sure.
Yeah, but there is something very spiritual about the fact that we just can do things and not know why or
Yeah.
how. I like that. Like there isn't really, we don't need to know everything.
Mm,
I actually think it's quite dangerous because then people can manipulate it. So
yeah.
let it
Which
just be is
they
happening.
are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Give
don't
me one of
know.
yours.
I don't know if I want to because that feels very wholesome. And I'm like,
Maybe I think I should have finished with that one actually, because okay, I'll tell you my next one. So
okay.
there's this school. Oh shoot, the thing's closed. Let me bring it up. Who, in taking a stance against So it's a secondary school. In taking a stance against absenteeism, they will not allow pupils to be off if they have a note that basically says that they're ill or that they're unwell or that they have a cold. They will have to come in regardless, even if they have, if girls have period pains. The only way that they will let you allow, the only reason they'd let you allow, okay. The only way they'll allow you to be off school with period pains is if you have a doctor's note, which obviously the parents were in uproar about, because if you've suffered with like debilitating period pains, it's the end of the world. It's the end. It should be reason enough. Do you know what I mean? I feel like responsible parents aren't gonna just like let their kids stay off for any little reason, you know? If your cramps are so bad you can barely stand, where am I going? Where is my kid going? To demand a doctor's note for that is outrageous.
I haven't even thought of the fact that you could get a doctor's note for period pains. Like,
I don't, and that's the thing. I don't think you
how free is
can.
it to get? Yeah, exactly. How free is it to get a doctor's note? Like, you have to go. So you're going to be off anyway in order to go to the doctors to get the doctor's note
Yeah.
to say this person has been experiencing period pains.
Unless they're saying you have to have like some sort of condition, like, I don't know,
Endometriosis.
endometriosis or something like that. But it's a big ask for young teenagers. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's outrageous. It's
It's
outrageous
it's a big
considering the fact.
ask for adults to go to
Yeah.
work feeling that kind of pain. And it's not just that, like, you can feel it's not just the cramping, it's the backaches, it's the joint pains, it's the brain fog, it's everything. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just, oh, I have pain in my abdomen because I'm on my
Yeah.
period. It can be symptoms that seem so unrelated, but are
Yeah.
driven by
Exactly. Nausea, migraines, sweating. You know, I used to when I was younger, I used to like pass out sometimes. Like
from the
it's
pain.
yeah, it's just what I used to feel just like really dizzy and just like pass out.
Mm,
Pass out. That was like the reason why I had to go on the pill when I was younger,
mm,
just to not have to deal with it because it was so bad, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Mine
Absolutely
was
crazy.
heavy, heavy bleeding. Um, and I had to go on the pill to manage
Yeah,
just manage the
to manage it.
situation. Yeah, and
It's so unfair, man. And I've seen quite a few posts online recently where men are getting strapped up with like those electrodes that emulate period cramps, and it's crazy that on like level 2 or 3 they are on the ground, and then
yeah,
you'll see the girl standing next to them. That's just like, this is the lightest of work. What is the problem? You
yeah.
know?
I'm
And they'll
still
crank it
working
up
out
to
in this.
10. Literally.
Yeah.
It just feels like a bit of like I'm hungry. This is a tummy rumble. You know? It's
It's
insane the things we have to like to work through, you know? But what's even more insane about it is the lack of empathy for it, you know?
I know,
For me, that's the part that's devastating.
especially at this point in time where we've been through a pandemic where kids were schooled at home via video.
Yeah.
And if they weren't via video, they had set work they had to complete and submit. Now, if
Yeah.
you're experiencing pain, but you're still able to think, then that should be an option to
Yeah.
school from home.
Yeah.
Like, that should be an option to be able to school, even if you're really poorly. Like, there could be, it might be actually you've got temperature and everything, but you're able to talk. Because sometimes I feel, I know I'm sick, but I'm still of sound mind. I can still
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah.
So on those situations, I can still attend school or
Mm.
attend work but
Yeah.
not physically be there and
Yeah.
complete all of the lessons. That
Yeah. I'm sure
just,
that very much be the case. When if you can do it at home, you can do it at school. But being in your home, like in your room where it's quiet, where it's peaceful, is very different than being in a room with like 30 odd other people. And then
yeah,
just the hustle and bustle of the day. Then you've got to get there. So like buses and
exactly.
trains. Yeah. I feel like the whole pandemic was like a huge missed opportunity for like the school system to be revamped to accommodate for things like this, because I feel like schools got it together really quickly to be able to, you know, keep kids up as best as they could with the curriculum. And then it's just like as soon as, you know, we were able to go
The
back,
threat, yeah, the threat of going,
it just
but
got all chucked out of the window.
it's absolutely a control mechanism of like being present,
Yeah.
physically being there. I can physically be in a room and not be present. It's
I
very
mean,
easy. And that's
many
generally what
times.
lots of kids do as well.
Yeah.
And not all kids thrive in an environment where they're easily distracted. Even in terms of the way of learning, like they need time to process
Yeah.
and get through the content. And it's just being in a room with people of all different abilities and needs doesn't accommodate for that well. And it's a shame. I'm not in a position to say actually it should be something different, but we should be more open to
Yeah.
doing something different. Because otherwise, how are our kids? You know, we're very much like, oh, yeah, when they're older, we can be more flexible. But actually, we need to be more flexible when they're younger because that's when it's the most important. Like by the time
Yeah.
we're 21, 25, 30, we're set in our ways already.
Yeah. Mindset's fixed already. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, definitely a missed
Oh,
opportunity. But yeah, that's bullshit. And I'm very much when it comes to period stuff, like I'm very much just like, get your fucking act together, people. Like it's just why should we have to go through so much pain?
oh,
And
okay.
it not
Yeah.
be not and not be recognized. It just
Yeah.
annoys me. That's why I really like having a female boss actually, because she's aware.
You just get it.
Yeah.
It's
Like
almost like it
if
doesn't
it's
have to be said.
awful, I'm just like I'll be like, there is no chance I'm getting on a bus or a train. Like I had a social engagement a few months ago and it was mainly men and I
Mm.
was experiencing all of this stuff and I was like, I am gonna have to just say I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot physically make this engagement because I am experiencing this pain. And I was like, do I say like, or do I just say I'm sick? And then in
Yeah.
the end, I was like, I was literally had to be blunt and be like, I'm really sorry, but I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't going to happen for me. And I'd love to be there, but I cannot be there. I'm
Yeah.
in a place. And they were very open, was like, hope you feel better. But it was awkward. Like I felt so awkward having to be
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got girl problems at the moment, so I can't make the social
Yeah.
engagement. And it sounded like such an excuse. But I mean, to see me, I was watching TV kneeling on the floor because I
Oh
was in that
God.
like kind of, do you know
That's
what I
what I
mean?
mean.
I
Yeah.
couldn't sit up straight because my back was hurting and the cramps were like full on. It must have been a 10. But yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
it's
it
like,
shouldn't feel awkward. You know, that's the thing. It shouldn't feel awkward, but just the taboo of it all. I feel like again, we're things are so much better now. I think even like the education that boys are getting about it, you
yeah,
know, I feel like it was non-existent before, and it was very much like a or a something you had to speak about in hushed tones.
yeah,
It was something that was even like frowned upon for women to talk about with men, and it's just. But they've got mothers and sisters and may have daughters. Like this is information that everybody needs, you
yeah. And
know.
I think if
So
you are raised in a family where you have lots of exposure to that, where you're like
yeah.
lots of sisters and, your
Yeah.
mum and stuff, I think you're more clued up because you've been exposed to the
Yeah.
environment
Yeah.
when emotions are high. You're like, oh, this
What is
is
going on?
this is a
Yeah.
reoccurring thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Do you watch Modern Family?
Hello.
Okay, so
I
there
love
is
a
an
family
episode.
comedy.
There is an
Oh
episode
yeah.
where Phil
All three of them.
recognizes, yeah, 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 and that's quite funny because it does happen quite often. Or nowadays, there's lots of posts about when the women are asking their other halves to go to the supermarket and get them pads with wings, and then the guys are coming back.
But also, that's a great idea. I mean, if you're smart, you'll come back with pads and wings.
Yeah. Oh, it's that time of month. She must need also sustenance. I mean, and who doesn't like a chicken wing? I'm down. I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at all. I'd be like,
absolutely
thanks
not.
for
I can
thinking of
eat
me,
chicken
babes.
wings at the best of times. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, jokes.
Okay, so I'll read out a couple of these cheater things. So basically, it's cheaters who really made sure to twist a knife after stabbing their partners in the back. So I'm assuming it's the cheater's view of things.
Okay. Oh my God.
I'm just going to go randomly. So let me go with number 5. My boyfriend of 7 years cheated on me whilst I was home saying goodbye to my dying dog. Oh, I don't know if I can. Whew. And visiting my mum in the hospital. I was also in the thick of an accelerated nursing school program and it was finals week. Also, my car had just been broken down in the drive-through of a Whataburger that same weekend. The girl he cheated with, a very close friend who was getting married in a month. She begged me not to tell her fiance. I told him. Good for you, girl. So you should.
Wow.
Okay, let's go. Number 8. My best friend. He was madly in love with a woman and wanted to marry her. They lived together and were very happy. As a birthday gift, she bought him a plane ticket so he could fly out to see me. While he was with me, he would talk to her every so often. Every time he got off the phone with her, he would tell me something just wasn't right. His spidey senses, oh my God. His spidey senses were tingling. He came home to find evidence that she'd had someone over at their place. She initially denied it, but eventually admitted to having a male co-worker in the house. Her buying the ticket was a way for her to have some space to herself for a 3-day sex romp. My buddy was devastated and heartbroken. It took him years to recover. That is sad, actually.
Damn. Hey, babe. Just leave for 3 days.
I know. Do you know what? But that lends itself about how sneaky females are when they cheat. Like, we see a lot of stuff about how guys tend to be a bit more obvious about it, you know?
Yeah.
But women are devious.
Yeah. I mean, I think because that's when our superpower of thinking about so many different things comes into play. Do you know what I mean? Because men are very linear. It's just point A to point B, where we have a subsection 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you know what I mean? So we have
which will impact
3,
D
6.
subsection.
There we go. There we go. Contingency plans, right? Yeah. So I feel like women make the best cheaters. I feel like if they get caught, they want to. Ooh, my bad. But I think that's the case.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just sloppy. You know, we shouldn't make generalizations, but I feel like, if you're out of all the cheaters, women make better ones.
And liars, which makes them better thieves, I think, and basic criminals, I reckon, because they do think about things in a lot more detail. So yeah, man, I'm not gonna read any more of those because they're negative and I don't want to be getting into them. But I must have been like, ooh, juice at the time.
And we've not had any for a while. I was thinking the other day, we've not had a "Am I the arsehole" thing for a minute. Maybe need to bring that back, actually.
Yeah, but it's nice to switch it up because we don't need too much. You know, the more we put it out there, the more we're going to retract it. And so
absolutely, just a little sprinkle every now and then.
You love your adventure. I'm saying adventure because we're not saying drama.
These are other people's stories that they have already chosen to share.
Yeah, very true.
These are not my escapades. So, I don't have any escapades. Do you know what I mean?
Living vicariously through others. True. Fair enough. Yeah, but do you know what? What I've noticed is there is a distinct lack of shocking story out there. You know, we had the Amsterdamage, we've had like the
Mum.
doggy, the doggy treat kind of story.
Pedigree champ.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was actually the last one that I came across. I've not seen any out there.
Okay.
Guys, get up to some ratchet shit so we can read it out. Damn, I missed them.
All right. And with that homework exercise set for us both, let's wrap up episode 47. Thank you so much for being here today. If you made it all in one sitting, what I normally say, boil blankets and electrolytes are on their way to you. I think this is kind of a long one this week. Prep yourselves for this season. Make it as enjoyable and as cozy as you can until we break through to spring on the other side. Do the things, subscribe, engage, like, follow, and forward. Thank you very much. Ames, is there anything you want to say to the peeps before we go?
See you next week.
All right.
Yeah, join us next week. That's it.
All right, folks, that's me. That's she. We're out. Bye.